Hello, everyone. Welcome to this conversation on tealtownusa.com. I am Eric Cura, joined by AJ Strong, and with us in this episode, we welcome an original San Jose Shark and former assistant coach, Rob Zettler. Rob, how are you? How's things in your neck of the world?
My neck of the world is still San Jose, so it's actually pretty good. We have 3 kids that are online full-time right now, as I'm sure everybody else is with what's going on in the world, but everybody's healthy, everybody's safe, and everybody's doing well. So knock on wood, I'm in a good place right now and enjoying some California sunshine.
Absolutely. Nice and beautiful, and glad to have you with us. So, of course, you have a long history with the San Jose Sharks. You were one of the first guys selected in the original dispersal draft in 1991. A couple of years in plus in San Jose. Tell us about those days at the Cow Palace. Any stories you could share with us?
Well, it's debatable. I don't think it's debatable, but I say I'm the first San Jose Shark. Neil Wilkinson's got other thoughts in mind, but we were the first 2. We were the first 2. He says it's alphabetical. I say it goes by character and talent, so I went out. But we always have that little argument. But we were the first 2 San Jose Sharks because of what went on with the Minnesota North Stars back in the day when they split it. We were with the NHL team, and we were the first 2 to come over. So that was a thrill, man. It was awesome because I was kind of an in-and-out player with the North Stars. We'd just gone to the Stanley Cup Finals, but I was coming to a team where I knew I was going to play a lot and be a big part of, and I was thrilled to do it. I was anxious to get out here. I was 21 or 22 years old coming out to California to play hockey. And, I got out here and stepped into the Cow Palace, and I said, wait a second, this isn't hockey. Hang on a second. What is going on here? But it soon, I quickly kind of fell in love with the area, fell in love with California, fell in love with the team. And it was, it's been a great ride through playing, coaching, all my stints in San Jose with the Sharks. I've really enjoyed it.
How much did you enjoy that climbing of the stairs at the Cow Palace?
After a fight, it wasn't very fun. After a loss, it wasn't very fun. It seemed like a long walk. After a win, although there weren't very many of them back then, after a win in those Cow Palace days. But I don't know. It was kind of unique. To me, I was a kid from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, small town in northern Ontario, and I was living in, basically South San Francisco. So there's something kind of romantic, exotic about that for a young Canadian kid to think that they're in San Francisco or playing hockey in San Francisco. It's a little bit surreal. So it really didn't matter. We were packed every night. We had a great bunch of guys on the team. We worked hard, but we didn't win too many games, which was unfortunate. But we still laugh about that climb up the stairs because it's just kind of weird. You climb up, and then the dressing room was really compartmentalized, and they had a little piece over here, a little piece over there. So it was a little bit disjointed, and you could tell obviously that it was temporary. But it was a lot of fun. It turned into a lot of good stories from, somebody growing marijuana on the back patio near the dressing room, which back in 91, which it's not today, where no one would even think twice, but you go there, you're like, who the hell's growing marijuana out here? To all kinds of crazy stuff going on. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun back then.
How quickly did Link Gates cop to it?
Good question. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I've got my own secret. Yeah. Link was he was a special guy, man. It's a shame that he got in I don't know if everybody knows the story, but he got in that accident and cut his career short. But gosh, skate. He was among the toughest in the league. He could shoot. It's just a shame that he just couldn't, put it all together. And he would have had a long career in the NHL if he could have, man. He was a special talent. And he was 6'3", 6'4", 220 pounds. That was unheard of back then, right? I was a bigger guy. I was 6'2", 200, and I was one of the bigger guys. But to be able to find that kind of size and talent that goes with it it's rare, man. Really rare.
You also played with Doug Wilson for a couple of seasons. Did the Hockey Hall of Fame hold him out long enough? Or is there anything you could tell us about Doug that no one should know? We'll keep it quiet.
Yeah, he was not only did I play with Doug, but he was also my stallmate. I sat beside him for 2 years up in the Cow Palace, so a lot of stories. And he was I'll tell you something about Doug. He goes nowhere without his pants pressed. He's a good man, but he's the cleanest dressed guy I've ever seen. There is not a wrinkle on that man. Whatever room he walks into, whether it's in the morning coming into hockey, coming into a meeting between periods or meeting after a game as the GM, everything had a crease, everything was ironed perfectly. So he was always looking sharp. But he was a fun guy to play with because he was that guy, that everybody kind of looked up to as a hockey player. Not only what he did on the ice, but what he does off the ice as well. He just kind of holds himself in such a high way. And it was fun, but he liked to have fun too. He was the first guy to bring everybody over to his house for a Christmas party. He was the first guy to get everybody organized on the road to go for a beer and a bite to eat. So that was fun for us. And for a bunch of young guys, we weren't going to be there for very long. It was generally, a year or two because they were kind of on their way out. But there were some young guys on the team that were looking to grow and looking to kind of have a career, and Doug helped us do that.
So he was like the Jerry Rice of the Sharks, where it was just always clean, always pressed, always ready to go.
You can't even imagine, man. It was always, ready to go. There wasn't, like I said, every crease, not a wrinkle. It was good. It was impressive because we'd look for one. Wait a second. I think I see a wrinkle. Hang on a second. He's a good man. We tease him. He's probably, hopefully he's laughing right now if he hears this, but he's a good man. And, we obviously played together. We worked together as coach GM, and there's been a lot of fun stuff that went on the ice and off the ice. I've enjoyed it.
Well, one of the few left that didn't have to throw on a lid, right, during games.
I know. You see, but the interesting part back then was there actually was a period, I think it was my second year here in San Jose, where they introduced a rule. And so it was kind of like the grandfather rule. But if you had been in the league for X amount of time, you could choose to not wear a helmet. So there were a number of guys who had been in the league for 4 or 5 years that were, wearing a helmet that chose to not wear one. It was some of the guys with, the bigger personalities, tough guys kind of players that chose to do it. But to me, it was nuts. It was crazy. And I actually played with Doug, and I played with the last guy to do it. It was Craig McTavish. Back then I played with him in Philly. He didn't wear a helmet. And it's, I think if you're the only guy not wearing one, it's hard because no one else is really expecting it, right? So sticks go up or elbows go up. Back in the old days, nobody wore a helmet. So I think the respect level was a little bit different. Everybody kind of learned to, keep your sticks down, keep your shoulders or keep your elbows down, or else you're going to pay for it, right? There's going to be something coming back your way. And when you're the only guy in town that's doing it, I think it's a little bit of a different story. Some guys tend to forget once in a while. And, you saw a few whacks in the head and a few stitches every now and then from those guys.
That's kind of throws off the whole wrinkle thing. It's like you got everything perfect here, but then you got the little stitches here and there.
But the stitches were done perfectly, though. They were done perfectly.
Nice. So you mentioned Philly. You also were in Toronto. You were one of the original Nashville Predators, and then finished up in Washington, where you played under Ron Wilson, and then you kind of jump over a few months later to be one of his assistants when he came over to San Jose.
Yeah.
You coached with Ron, and you also coached with Pierre DeBoer. Who was more fun on the road, or how does it changed over the years?
Well, there are two different personalities and two different approaches to the game. Ron was he had a real technical side to him, and he loved the analytics part of the game, and really relied on the analytics part of the game. Like, to me, he really brought that into hockey, because he had a file maker program that he kept that when people looked at it, they were astonished. And I was one of the guys keeping track of the stats for him, and I would hand him his sheet of stats after every game, and he'd plug it into his file maker program, and out would pop a whole bevy of different analytics time on ice. I mean, that's an easy one, but time on ice, goals per 20 minutes on ice, goals against per 20 minutes on ice, like all these stats that are kind of the norm now. Ron had that back in the early 90s. And he was way before his time that way, big time. And Pete was just different that way. He certainly we had an analytics department by that time, right? So we had guys that was their whole job was to do that. So he'd get that and he would look at it, but he didn't use it as much. He was more in the dressing room talking to guys and getting a feel for what the players want, what the players need. Both guys I've worked under 3 head coaches. And all three are going to, either have had great success or are continuing to have great success. And that's Ron Wilson, and then John Cooper, and then Pete DeBoer. So 3 guys that, you just really learn a ton from and got a tremendous amount of respect for. And just, a thrill to work for those guys. It was fun. And all completely different people ran their ships completely different, which was great for me because I got to see it run a few different ways.
Well, we talk about Ron Wilson for a second. Has he ever explained to you what Honta Yo means?
What is it?
Honta Yo. There's a video of Ron Wilson in the dressing room, and this is during the playoffs, right, Eric?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe it was sometime when he was with Washington.
Yeah, and he was just on this crusade, just Honta Yo. Do you know what that means? I
don't.
That means it's a good day to die. And it was just this speech that he was using to try to fire up the troops. Like, if you're going to go down, go down swinging.
Seriously, it must have been like a series clinching game or something that he had the opportunity to clinch a series where he used that. He never used that one with us. He would, but that was the fun part about Ron. He kept his circle pretty tight. And if you're in his circle, he's a funny guy, but you get out of that circle and he gets pretty close-lipped. But he likes to bust your chops big time, right? Like big time, and that's a lot of fun to him. So with players, with other coaches and stuff, he'll whatever it is, he likes to bust your chops a little bit, and but he likes to have some fun, not only on the bench but in the dressing room and everything. So I worked with Ron for 9 years, 5 or 6 years here in San Jose, then another 4 in Toronto. So I owe him a lot. He brought me in as a guy just getting out of the league. And, I probably had no business coaching at the NHL level those first couple of years because you think and then you got to teach it. And then that's a whole different ballgame, right? Doing it and teaching it is completely different. And to teach it, you really got to know what you're talking about, man, because these guys will see right through you. And these NHL guys are smart players and they're good players, and they want to know. They want the information. They want it quickly, concisely, and delivered in the right way. And both Ron and Pete had I think it's a unique talent to be able to take a message and deliver it in a way that's really easy to understand, and deliver it in a way that they can grab it and take it out on the ice right away and not have to think about it anymore, right? Just, okay, got it, I'm out. And Ron could do that, and Pete could do that, and that to me is a real skill. Some guys really jumble it up, they kind of keep going and they keep talking and it's long. Both those guys were like, quick. Let's keep these meetings quick. Let's keep them to the point. 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 bullet points, and that's it. Let's go. And they just believed in what they believed in and move forward. So, but yeah, again, just fun guys to work with.
Well, come on. If they'll let Drew Remenda coach, they'll let anybody do it.
Well, I got a soft spot for Drew because I'm his wife's favorite. So every time he sees me, you can tell him that next time too. Next time you talk to him. Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, AJ talks to him multiple times. Yeah, during the season.
Tell him Rob says hi to Michelle.
Absolutely.
So you coach the pros. I know you've coached the kids as well with the junior Sharks. Yep. So we got to ask who's tougher to coach? Is it the pros or the kids to teach the game to?
Oh my, it's the kids, 100%. The kids, because it's something depending on the age you get. sometimes they're just kind of like, what was that? What'd you say? They're just kind of lost, right? And it's, it's being 12 or it's being 10, and they just kind of space out for a little bit. Super fun to coach, but at the same time, you're like, come on, man, let's go. We just showed you this drill. In the challenge in the pros is just making sure you've got a game plan, you've got a plan in front of you, and you're following it, and you know what the hell you're talking about. Kids are never going to call you out if you don't know what you're talking about. But these guys, if you don't know what you're talking about, there's going to be a lot of eye rolling and questions. So that's the challenge at the pro level, right? Is knowing exactly the message you want to deliver it quick and get it done on the ice, whether you're between periods or whether you're in practice. Because you don't have a lot of time with the pros. It's always, everything's a lot of pace and quick. And because you play so much, right? You play every second day. You don't have time to have a 45-minute meeting every day. It gets a little mundane. So you got to keep it fresh and energized and quick. So you got to be prepared. And so the kids, you can pull the wool over their eyes sometimes, but it's, I have a son who's 13 who plays junior sharks, and I help out to coach him. So that for me has been a real thrill. It's been really fun. And one of the reasons why I've chosen to kind of go into this new venture, because it's given me the opportunity to, as a coach, you move around a lot. It's just what you do, right? And you accept that as a coach, and your family accepts that. And I've got a wonderful wife and 3 kids who have followed me and gone to different cities, and it's been awesome. We've had great experiences in every city we've been in, honestly. Good people, good towns. But this was a chance for me to settle down for a little bit and not pick up and not move. And, it's given me that opportunity. I've got 2 kids in college, and then I've got my son who's 13. It's given me the opportunity to coach him, spend a lot of time with him. And so that's kind of my focus right now.
Nice. Well, let's talk about it. It's the Oates Sports Group. From the looks of it, it's very in-depth training. I kind of elaborated on it because it looks, when reading up on it, it ranges from like youngsters to guys like former Shark Brendan Dillon and a bunch of other NHL players. Fill us in on it.
Yeah, it's so Adam Oates started this business about 4 years ago. I played with Adam in Washington for 3 years, and we always had, we're definitely friends. And then the conversations were always really dynamic because Adam's a sharp guy. He really dives in deep to the kind of the skill set and how you do all those things. And you remember him as a player. He's, top 100 of all time, assist guy, all of it, but just saw the game in a different way. And then, so when I was coaching, I was kind of following what he was doing, and it was really interesting to me because at the end of the day, and now he's got, our company has 42 NHL players, I think it is. At the end of the day, he's got the best players in the world coming to Oates Sports Group asking how we can get better. How can you make me better? And he's delivered over the years. He's delivered with Scheifele. He's delivered with Kucherov. He's delivered with Dillon. He's kind of, you named McDavid. So he's got all kinds of players that he's helped to make better players. And so when things changed for me here in San Jose, we talked, and we thought that there may be a way to kind of grow the business. And certainly working with NHL players is part of it, but opening it up a little bit more to high-end junior players, prep school players, guys and girls that are looking to become better hockey players. And right now on the East Coast, if you want to become a better player and you got a chance to become a better player, people are phoning Oates Sports Group. That's just what's happening. The best players are doing it, and because he delivers and he's shown that it works. And we want to make that mark here in the West, and that's where I come in. And we do things a little bit differently. We look at things a little bit differently. We look at things a little deeper. This is not, 25 kids going on the ice and conditioning and running through drills just for the sake of running through drills. We get 2 or 3 guys on the ice at one time, and we're going to go deep into the skill set, whatever it is we're talking about. And, the stuff that we teach, the hockey sense, the hockey IQ, the vision, the awareness, helps these young players and NHL players have more awareness, have more vision to allow them to play a smarter game, a calmer game. Because our belief is that if you're able to be calmer out there on the ice, right? Your vision increases, your awareness increases, and you become a better hockey player. You see more things happen out there. You're not as jittery. You're not doing things as quickly. And you do that through a number of ways, right? Through video, through on-ice instruction. But one of the biggest things is how you're using your body, right? And teaching these young guys how to use their body, when and where to turn, how to bring their eyes into play first to lead them in that vision and that awareness. So, our game is a violent game. It's just the nature of the beast, right? People get hit, and we believe the way we teach things, we're going to take less hits. You're going to take a bump every now and then, but that's going to be to your advantage, not theirs. You're not going to get hit, and so that's a big part of it. And then I think another big part of it is teaching these guys that having the puck on your stick's a good thing, man. Like, I want to see you with that puck on your stick. I want to see you hang on to it for a little while longer. And when you're calm and you that vision, that awareness goes up, right? And now you can see, I got that. I can make that play. And we're talking about making plays in small areas, and having small areas feel like you got a lot of time it changes the game for a lot of players, and it's interesting because I've, quickly gotten up to about 15 clients in a shorter period of time, and it would have been better if we're not in the middle of COVID, but it is what it is right now. But the results were pretty immediate, and that was really fun. And the neat part about it, for me, that the benefit was, and I didn't really see this coming. You always think of it as coaching and helping kids get better on the ice, but the relationship is like you get to know these players at a different level. And really smart kids, like kids in Ivy Leagues and kids in prep school that they just want to get better. They just want to get better, and they ask good questions. And so it's been really fun. And then after a little while, you get to know them. They start texting you and asking you about life, like life away from the rink. Because, at the end of the day, I've been fortunate enough to be in this game at the NHL level for 30 years and either playing or coaching. And it's fun to share that knowledge. It's really fun to share that knowledge, especially with the young guy trying to make it. And then when you get a young guy who's hungry and wants to, and you can just see him he's like a sponge, he kind of craves that knowledge and takes it in. It's really fun. And then when you see it kind of transfer to the ice, you're like, there, you got it. Yeah. That's it. And they see that, and then they're like, okay. And then you kind of start to see it over and over and over again. So it's been a good ride so far. Like I said, I just started in January. It's short term. But it's been super fun, and working with Adam's been excellent. He's got a real brain for the game, and his knowledge, he wants to share it. And like again, the success on the East Coast is unbelievable. I just would love to see that happen on the West Coast and get a presence here on the West Coast, and that's kind of where I come in.
So would you be taking advantage then as well of the expansion of Solar for America now that they're going to be adding more sheets and using that as part of the platform as well?
Yeah, I hope to. I hope to get on the ice there, because that's where, the first part of it, I was doing some traveling, going back to New York and going to Florida and meeting clients. And the plan was to do a lot of that over the summertime. I had clients in Vancouver, clients in Winnipeg that I was going to get up to. But of course, you just can't right now because of what's going on. So the hope is to get a presence here in California and in the West and make my travel a little bit less. But God, I would love it. What would be great is to have some locals where, even going down to see a game instead of watching it on video would be awesome. And then having, being able to work with a guy right away and being able to transfer that right away and then get on the ice with him right away. Because that's my hope is to get on Sharks ice a little bit more and use that ice to help these players get better. And then I'll be here and, I get the ice once in a while up in Tahoe. They have a great facility up there. It's awesome. That whole in South Lake, there's one side of the rink that's all glass. You can look at it. It's really a great setting and great rink, great ice. So it's fun to train guys up there. And then, depending on where the client base is, that's where I'm going to be going to. So. Okay,
now how close is this facility to Harrah's and Harvey's? Because I'm going to be going there.
Exactly. Good question. About 3/4 of a mile, maybe less, maybe half a mile.
Oh.
Walking distance for sure. So if you're a parent with a young guy or girl who loves hockey, call me up. We'll get you up. We'll get them on the ice in Tahoe, and then they can walk down to the casino and hang out, and/or cross the street to the beach, which would be good as well. Yeah,
I like that part. Or a little golf. Little golf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple of real good ones up there for sure. Yeah, you got all kinds of options up there.
Excellent. All right. Well, Rob Zettler, we wish you all the best. Where's what's the website that people could look it up for
thanks.
that?
Yeah, thanks for asking it. It's oatesportsgroup.com, oatesportsgroup.com. And, kind of everything you need to know is right there. We kind of give you a little quick blurb on what we do and how we do it. And then, of course, emails and phone numbers and everything right there to reach out and connect. And even if you just have some questions, I'd love to hear from some people. It'd be fun because it is fun. I haven't run into a client yet who hasn't enjoyed it. And same goes with me. I haven't run into a client yet who I haven't enjoyed. There's, some challenges on what they need to do to get better. But every kid to a man has gotten better, and that's been really fun to watch.
And I could only wish I had this when I was playing in good old Berkeley, Iceland, and had that to play around because I've always wanted to look for something to improve. So I'm glad that opportunity's out there for youngsters and more so in general. But Rob Zettler, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you having me on, and hope to see you guys soon. Enjoy it.